I guess it's time to stop relaxing and get the rest of this done. Thank you for clicking on the video, everybody. Today I thought I'd do a little cold weather camping. The low tonight is supposed to only be around 38, so it's not going to be too bad. When it's really cold and freezing out, I normally won't hammock camp because it can be kind of a challenge. But a lot of guys, they use real expensive underquilts and overquilts, which really helps. It's what you need in the wintertime. But what I like to do is more of a traditional style of an underquilt. And I'll just use my wool blanket here, and we'll get this laid out. Let's see. I kind of got a mix between modern and traditional. I've got a newer hammock and just a tarp tent, and more traditional would be more of a canvas hammock and, you know, like an oilcloth tarp. But here's what I'm going to do here. Here, I'll get a close-up. As I said, it's not very cold out here. Actually feels pretty nice. Right now, on my way over here, it said it's about 47 degrees. And you can tell by looking at the creek over here that it was cold yesterday. It was very cold yesterday, actually. And today, it's going to be nice. So, I'll get a bunch of these safety pins, and you can use blanket pins if you want to. These safety pins will work just fine. I'm going to put these, if I can get it open. Come on, sausage fingers. There we go. Put these in there. Alright. Now, I'm going to double this up a little bit. And double this up. I'm going to go through all the layers with the pin. I'll do that every, I don't know, 2 feet or so. Let me see if I can move out of the way here. I couldn't tell if you've seen that first one or not, but we'll go all the way through. If it will. Sometimes you gotta work it. There you go. Go another 1.5 feet, 2 feet or so. Grab another safety pin. Today we're gonna smooth it. We're not roughing it at all today. You know, I'm not gonna build a big fire. I've got this tarp here. I've got half of it folded on the other side, and when it comes time for me to go to bed, I'll bring it over and then stake it out, and I'll be underneath this tarp here. Alright, let's get another one. May have to work it in a little bit. A lot of layers through there. You want it to be in there pretty good. Come on, work with me here. There we go. And I'll just do that all the way down to the end. Okay, now that I have it pinned all the way along this edge here, when it comes time to go to sleep, I'll just lay down. I'll reach down, grab my wool blanket, wrap myself in it, and this here will trap my body heat pretty well, and I should stay warm all night. The only thing I probably should have done is maybe grabbed another blanket to put on the inside here to lay on, just to help a little bit more with convection. But tonight, like I said, it's not going to get below, it's not even going to get close to freezing. It's going to be cold, but with this wool blanket, I should be just fine. Now, I'll tuck the wool blanket underneath my feet tonight, and I can even just throw this over me. Yeah, it's going to be a comfortable night. I can already feel myself heating up in this thing. But like I said, you just pin it along the edge here, and you throw it underneath. You've got your underquilt and you've got your overquilt all in one. This is a queen size wool blanket. It's a 100% wool blanket, and they are a little expensive, but I'll tell you what, wool blankets are my favorite thing to use out here for many reasons. One being they keep you warm even in really cold weather. Two, they're fire retardant, so you know I'm not too worried about sleeping that close to a fire. If a spark gets on it, it normally won't catch. And they're water resistant. I've had a few people say, you know, what are you going to do if that wool blanket gets wet? Well, they're water resistant, but if they do happen to get soaked, they're still 80% effective against the cold even when they're wet. So that's another great thing about wool blankets. 100% wool blankets. People think that wool's itchy. 100% wool is not itchy. It's when you get, you know, the 70-30 mix, all those synthetic fibers, those are itchy. So if you have the money, get you a 100% wool blanket, and thank me later. I'm just going to take all this, throw it in here, so that way it's off the ground. Alright. Now when I come out here, I normally like to have a project to do, you know, during the downtime after I get my fire going and it's time to settle down. I normally like to have something to do, whether it be sharpen my knife or axe or carving something. Tonight my project is the Pathfinder Compass Case Kit. I have a Sunto MC2 compass, and for a long time I've been wanting to get a case for it just because I kind of put it in my pockets with some other stuff, and you know, over the course of it being in there, it's gotten scratched up quite a bit. I just need to protect it. So one reason why I got this is one, it will protect my compass, and two, it's kind of cool. I'll be able to put everything together. I've already started it, but I've got some thread in here, the leather. I also have some saddle soap and everything, so let me show you everything that's in it. I just want to let you know that, you know, the guys at Pathfinder, they don't know who I am, so I'm not sponsored by them. I've had some people in my last couple videos be like, oh, I thought you'd never try to sell us anything. I'm not trying to sell you guys anything. If I'm sponsored by somebody, I will let you know. I've learned over the course of the past year being on YouTube, whenever I'm using something, I always get a bunch of comments asking what it is and where to get it. So as I'm going through my videos, you know, I'm just kind of telling you what I use and where to get it. And I use a lot of Pathfinder stuff. The main reason is over the course of 7 or 8 years, I've really learned a lot of this stuff by watching, you know, Dave Canterbury's channel and by reading his books. So as a thank you to him for all the free information I've gotten over the past, you know, 7, 8 years, I try to buy his products when I can. You know, I don't have a whole lot of stuff from him, but you know, the wool blanket is from him. You know, my nesting cup and 32-ounce bottle is from him. My knife is from his company. I think that might be it. Oh, and my DC Trailblazer, he doesn't make it, but I bought it from his store in Indianapolis because I don't live too far from Indianapolis. So just letting you guys know I'm not sponsored by anybody. I know for some reason that bothers you guys when people are, but I like to use their products, and plus this is pretty cool. I get to put it together tonight. You know, being right next to the creek here, it's pretty wet and muddy right here where I'm at. So I'm going to build a nice little base here with some of this thick bark. I'm not going to gather a bunch of wood tonight because I'm not going to rely on a fire to keep me warm. So I'm just going to get enough wood to get a nice coal bed going, and I'm just going to heat up some water and drink some hot tea tonight. And I just brought some of those little Roman noodle cup thingies. I'm just going to pour some hot water in it, give it a few minutes, and that's going to be my dinner. Alright. We're just going to use a lighter today. There goes them guns again. If you guys watched my 10,000 subscribers special, you know that there's a conservation club not too far from here, and on Saturdays, there's a lot of shooting that goes on there. Also, I wanted to take the second to thank everybody who wished me well. I put a post on my community tab that I was down with the flu there for a couple of weeks. That's why I haven't came out with a video. And it's kind of my fault because everybody in the house got sick. And I was kind of laughing, saying, hey, you know, I may not get it. I'm the only one who ain't sick. Then all of a sudden, next day I woke up and I was sicker than crap. Had to miss a few days from work, but when I woke up that morning I was coughing and sick. My wife looked at me and goes, that's what you get for talking crap. And she's absolutely right. Here's what we got going on for dinner tonight. Some hot and spicy flavor and some spicy chicken. I love these things. Oh, it's gonna warm me up too. A lot of you have been asking how this grill works. So you just separate it. There's a line here, do not go past the line. Fill it up with whatever water source you have. And I'm almost to the line. Open your cap about halfway. It's got a little spot here to put your palms. And just slowly, I just kind of lean on it a little bit. Use your body weight. Slowly push down. Forces that water through the filter and up to the top. It's nice and cold and it tastes pretty good. This was a little expensive. I believe I paid 80 bucks for it, but I really like it. Maybe some chopsticks. Alright, we got a rolling boil here. Let's see. Put that right there. I'm going to keep these coals together just in case I don't have enough water to fill up both of those noodle bowls. Yep, I won't have enough for both. That's okay. We'll set that off to the side for just a minute. And then I don't need that much more water, but we'll give that one a few minutes. think it's ready. All right, say some grace. All right. Cheers. Whew. That's hot, but it's good. Full of salt. Yesterday was Valentine's Day, and I took my wife to this place in town called the Tokyo Hibachi Grill. And I've been to one a long time ago, you know, where they bring the food out and they cook it right in front of you, and they do all them tricks with the spatulas and knives and stuff. And but this was a new one they built a couple years ago, and we finally went last night, and we had a good time. I got this hibachi salmon, and she got the steak and shrimp. And it was a little expensive, but we had a good time. We'll definitely be going back. The guy was like, "You want sake?" And I know sake is basically, you know, alcohol in Japan. And from like 4 feet away, he like shot it out of this bottle and it went in my mouth, and he kept going. I'm like, "Oh, dude, I gotta drive. Come on now." And he's like, "Hey, it'll wear off by the time you get out of here." I'm like, "Okay." Now here comes the best part when you drink it. Make your nose run. All right, that one's done. All right, I'd say this one's ready. I'm gonna mow down on this, and I'll be back with you in a few minutes. Thing I do is, to get all this cleaned up, is I'll reach down here, grab some sand. Get a nice mix of sand and water. That looks. Got a ways to go. Just down there. Not too worried about cleaning the inside or scrubbing the inside, since all I did was boil water. It looks a lot better. Let's see here. It looks a lot better. Main thing is I just don't want all that gunk to get all over the stuff in my bag, so when I go home I'll actually wash it in the sink and take a, you know, a scratch pad or something to it to get all that off of there. But that's how I'll clean my stuff out here. All right. Now this is a project that Self-Reliance Outfitters did with a company called Together Made. and there's a video on the Self-Reliance Outfitters website. When you click on this, down below it, there will be a video to show you, you know, everything you got to do to put this together. And I watched the video. I'm going to try to do it without watching the video again, but I think I pretty much got it. But like I said, if you get one of these, or if you're just interested in how one of these are put together, just go to the website, or I believe you can look up Together Made Leather on YouTube, and you can find it. But this is pretty cool. I mean, it's very relaxing, and you get to put something together. Although I didn't, you know, cut the leather or make the leather or anything like that. It's kind of cool. Something to do out here. Sometimes you can get bored out here, so it gives me something to do. But another reason why I wanted this is because I don't normally keep my compass on my hip, and with this you can put this on your belt. Out here I wouldn't do that just because I really wouldn't use it so much. But I do know that next month when I go to the basic class at you know, the Pathfinder school, I'm going to be using the compass a lot. So I'm going to put this on my belt, and I'm going to have it ready at all times. Based on the research I've done, you're going to do a lot of navigation. And, you know, I've got a pretty good idea on, you know, how to use a compass and map and everything, but I'm no expert. I'm not the most proficient person at it. So one reason why I'm going to the class is because, you know, anybody could come out here and you know, start a fire and with a ferro rod or with a flint and steel kit and things like that. But, you know, in their class, they're going to put you under some stress, and I believe it'll make me better at this, you know, because if you can do it when you're tired, you're hungry, and there's a time limit, I believe it'll make me even more efficient at this, I should say. Sorry, I don't have the best vocabulary in the world, but, you know, I just want to be better at this. You know, I'm not a survival expert. I've told you guys that many times in my videos, but one day I'd like to be. Okay, you normally start from the 4th hole down. I don't know if you can really see that, but this is what I've got so far. Start from the 4th, work your way up, go all the way back down, and then come back up 4. So it's doubled up on the top and the bottom. There's that dang train again. I don't know if you can hear that horn or not, but my brother-in-law is a train conductor, and I asked him last time I seen him, because in my last video you can hear a train a lot, and I know the nearest train is like, or the track is like 4 or 5 miles that way. And I asked him, I said, about how far can you hear a train? And he said, oh, about 5 or 6 miles, you know, depending on what the terrain is like. So, and that's about it. I'd say the nearest one in Fountainette, Indiana, which is north of here. Yeah, it's about 5 miles, 4 or 5 miles. That's okay. I mean, I don't really mind hearing the train horn in the distance. Or, you know, the occasional gunshot from the conservation club. All right. Alright, now what I'll do is, after I go back up to the 3rd hole here and bring these through, I cut them off with my knife and just kind of melt the ends there. Alright, I got that part done. I have one more. I attach this right there. A big old bunch of geese there. You're going the wrong way. South is that way. Alright, whatever. Don't poop on me, please. Damn, there's a bunch of them. Anyways, seems like every time I come out here I have a conversation with animals. I don't know, it kind of makes me crazy, I guess. I don't know. Oh, well, I've been called worse. Alright, now this is when it gets kind of tricky. You kind of need to bend it and kind of pre-form it the way it lines up with this other side here. And start from the fourth one from the top again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where you at? There you are. Alright. Bring it out even. Alright. It's kind of calming out here with besides the occasional gunshot or train horn. I can hear the creek running right next to me. And I'm saddle stitching a case here. It's kind of cool. I can tell it's going to be a good night. But I wanted to let you guys also know I've had a lot of people ask me when I'm going to be out in the cabin again. And the thing about the cabin is, which it's not really so much a cabin, it's more of a ugly shed with a wood stove. But anyways, the cabin is something that kind of me and the kids do. And here lately they just haven't really been interested in it. You know, they got wrestling tournaments. My brother's the coach, so they spend a lot of time at wrestling practice, and they're not as excited about the cabin as they once was, which is kind of heartbreaking. You know, when you do a lot of things with your kids and then one day they're just not really into it anymore. But you know, they're getting older. They're, you know, kind of getting into their own thing, and that's life, and it's okay. We always have those memories. We'll always, you know, we can always go back if they ever decide they want to just hang out in the cabin with their dad. So, I mean, I'm not saying I'm never going to do another video in there again, but I really enjoy being out here so much more. And be honest with you, there's only so many ways you can make a cabin video. It's pretty much the same thing. You start a fire. You know, it turns more into the only difference is what are you cooking different that day that you're there. And out here it's endless. You know, I can make a natural shelter like I did for my 10,000 subscriber special, or I can do this hammock here, or I can just make a tarp shelter. It's just so many possibilities out here. And I know that all this has been done a million times. You know, there's, you know, pretty much all the bushcraft channels are the same as far as shelters and things like that. But you know, I just love doing something different. I'm constantly changing. You know, I'm constantly thinking, you know, what can I do different? What can I do to be different than everybody else? And it's a challenge. You know, I still don't really understand everything about YouTube and about how it works. And I've had people say, look, I'm starting a YouTube channel, any advice? And I always tell them, you know, I'm not sure I'm the one that should give you advice. The only thing I can say is just have fun. That's what I'm doing, is having fun. And I have a lot more fun out here than I do in the cabin. Plus the cabin is not really that far out in the middle of nowhere, and I've told you that before. It's on a relative's property. You know, maybe if I could find a piece of land out in the middle of nowhere that's wooded, I might build me a little cabin out there. That's what I'd like to do eventually, but we'll see how it goes. But I'll definitely be back in the cabin. I'm just not sure when. I mean, we'll just see how it goes. I'm one arm in this crap, like my grandpa used to say. Instead of saying winging it, I don't know really what he meant by that, but he's like, I'm one arm in this crap. I don't know what I'm doing. Miss that old man. About got her done. With the stitching anyways. What was that noise? I don't know if you heard that or not, but it sounded weird. I couldn't tell if it was an animal or almost sounded like somebody screaming. There it is. That's an animal. Plenty of them out here. I'm down in a holler, and there's a creek that runs right through it, and this is where all the animals come through. You'll see deer tracks everywhere, turkeys that hang up on the ridge over there in the trees all the time. They're talking to me. And yeah, there's a lot of woodpeckers out this way. In the summertime, you'll hear them all the time out here. Owls like crazy. This is a great spot. I love it. That's why, you know, a lot of my bushcraft videos will be done in this area. Water source, plenty of trees to work with, a lot of dead trees on the ground. So I think if I could ever do YouTube full time, which, you know, I'm not holding my breath, I'm just kind of going with the flow. If I could ever do YouTube full time, I think I would start traveling. Like, I know a lot of the bigger guys, they drive, you know, 4 or 5 hours to like a national park or whatever it is that they have access to. They'd go, you know, drive 4 or 5 hours. I'm not able to really do that. You know, this is only 10-15 minutes from my house. It's not that far of a hike in here. So yeah, I think this would be the area that I stick with for the foreseeable future anyways. Alright. Now, got to get the saddle soap out. Okay. Where's the slicker at? It's right here. What we're going to do is smooth out these edges along here and all around here. First, we got to put some saddle soap on it. Now, it's a little cold out here, so this is a little hard. But we're just going to put it on the edge here. And I'm going to go ahead and go all the way around. We'll do this whole side right here in just one shot. Alright, take your slicker. Just go back and forth, up and down on this little thinner part here. Use this other side. This slicker has many different sizes to use. And we'll go back to this one here. Just smoothing out that edge there and getting a little moisture in there so it doesn't crack. Let's see. Maybe a little bit more on this part here. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. Feels pretty good. Alright, we'll go to the other side here. Should have probably put this saddle soap in my pocket to keep it warm, but that's okay. This will work just fine. All right. This is my first time ever doing something like this, so any of you guys out there that know how to any of you guys out there that do leather work and stuff like this, I'm not really exactly sure what the final edge should look and feel like. I just know we're just supposed to smooth it out. So if you have any tips, please leave them down in the comments. I'd appreciate it. That feels pretty good too. Now, last thing is just to go along the edge here of the flap. And I am going to go ahead and put this in my pocket, because I am going to put a bunch of saddle soap all over the outside of this and kind of work it in. And I want it to be nice and you know, I don't even know. I don't want it to be so solid. It's pretty solid right now. Alright, I think that'll do it on that. Alright, it's only been a few minutes, so it's a little softer. So I'm going to put this on here. I'm just going to work it into the leather. And I may have to do this a few times. I may, when I get home, let that warm up to become more of a liquid. And I think even in the video he might have mixed some water with it. So I think that's what I'll do when I go home. But I'll go ahead and just put a layer on here just to give it some moisture, make it look real nice. Alright, we'll turn it around here. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to do this again. This stuff is a little too thick to really do what it's supposed to. But that's okay. Better than not doing it at all, I suppose. Alright. Get the excess off of the threads. Just find a dry part. Oh, hold on. I forgot I need to do the sides here. Alright, last little part here. There we go. A little bit more on top here. Alright. And that's pretty much it, guys. Where's my compass? It's down here. Put my compass in there. And we're good to go. Now it comes with this lanyard. It's got these two grommets that you can feed it through if you wanted to hang it around your neck. I'm not going to do that, but I'm definitely going to keep this in case I need to use it for something else. Has this connector piece here to where, you know, you can snap it together. But like I said, this is mostly just going to be in my pack to protect the compass. And when it comes time for the basic class at Pathfinder School, I'll keep it on my belt. Now it has gotten a little cooler since I put that case together. So I'm just going to test this out, make sure that this is still going to be pretty good. It's getting kind of late. I know on the camera it doesn't look like it. It's starting to get pretty dark out here. The camera's pretty good to, even in the dark, it still looks pretty bright on the camera, but it's not going to get much colder than what it is right now. Right now it's like 41 degrees. So I think I'll be just fine. I'll have that other half of that tarp folded back over and staked down. That'll help keep the wind out. I may lower it just a little bit to where the bottom here is below the hammock, or I might just raise the hammock up. Either way, I want this down just a little bit. That way if any wind comes through, it does stop it from getting in here for the most part. But I'm gonna put this over my head here. Oh yeah, this is gonna trap my heat pretty good. This is a really good way to be comfortable while you're camping in the winter time, but this is not something that I would suggest doing when it's below freezing, unless you've got a really high dollar underquilt and overquilt and all that, and a really expensive setup. I wouldn't do this when it's really cold out. The convection issues is what you're worried about. The only thing, like I said, I should have brought maybe another blanket to put in here underneath me, but it's not really, it doesn't feel like I'm going to lose a whole lot of heat on the bottom. So, now I don't want to get up. It's about bedtime anyways, for me anyways. I got up super early this morning. Most of the time I sleep in on Saturdays, but I didn't do that today. Yeah, I almost came out here yesterday, but then my wife's like, "Did you forget what day it is?" "Oh yeah, forgot, sorry." "How you forget it's Valentine's Day?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm a dude, it's just what we do." But there is one more thing that I wanted to do and talk about before I go to bed here. Oh, the struggle. Oh. I got a package here from a subscriber. Hold on. Let me move this so I can sit down again. Alright. And before I tell you about this package, I want to let you know that I get all your letters at my P.O. box and I read them and I appreciate them. The Curtis family from Iowa, I got your letter and it means a lot. I want to thank you for that. And Ron Belts from Tennessee and his wife sent me a Shiloh battlefield patch from the Civil War, and I do appreciate it. It's in the cabin right now. I'll definitely show that. And Marja, I'm sorry. You're from Finland, I believe, so I'm not really sure how to pronounce it, but I did get your card that you made me, and I thank you. I wasn't sure if you guys wanted me to really show it on camera or not, so I didn't bring them, but I do appreciate them. This is from Jake Sanders from Texas, and I have some reading material tonight. And it's all newspaper articles of him. He had cancer when he was younger, and his letter said that he's been 21 years in remission, so congratulations on that, buddy. And got all these articles about how he's raised money for, cancer research, and there's a picture of him with Shinedown. Pretty cool band. It's cool that you got to meet them. I'll read a little bit of his letter here. Let's see. It's a long one, so I won't read the whole thing. But basically he said January 28th, 2020, he went back to MD Anderson Cancer Center to do a checkup and found out that he was 21 years in remission. That's awesome, buddy. And basically the hospital gave him the nickname The Walking Miracle, which is his YouTube channel name. And he also owns a company that's an interior exterior painting and landscaping and grass company called Maximum Overdrive Enterprises. But he also sent me, let's see here, he's got a picture of him and the guys from Shinedown. Let's see if it'll focus on that. That's pretty awesome, buddy. That's a good band. And also got some cool cards here he sent me. It says never give up. Got some pictures of him with Shinedown. Yeah, buddy, congratulations on 21 years being cancer free. Here's to another 21 and another 21 after that. And thank you for all the articles you sent me, buddy. I'm definitely going to read those tonight. You know, when I'm out here right before I go to bed, I like to read some stuff. Whatever it is, I don't mind. I just like to read. Thanks again, buddy. And if you have anything that you'd like to send me, I don't know if I'd be able to show them all on the channel, because I am getting more and more. But just send them. I will read them. I appreciate them. I'll keep them forever. Thank you, guys. Now, let's see. We'll put that about right there. Let's see here. There we go. I think that'll be fine. But I've got it tall enough in here to where I can stand straight up and I can walk around. I've got the tarp below my my hammock here. I may raise it up just a hair just to make sure, because you know, as it goes on, it's going to stretch a little bit. I'm going to sink just a tad. So I think it's probably about bedtime for me. It's starting to get pretty dark out here. I'm going to keep this in here with me just so it doesn't freeze solid. That way, in case I need to get something to drink in the middle of the night. I know I have to get up and use the restroom a couple times. So I'll get me a drink. And I think that's about it. I think I'm gonna sit, read those articles that Jake sent me. Thanks again, buddy. And that's it. Let's see. First, I'm going to take off my boots here and change my socks. Let's see. But before I do that, I'm just going to relax for a little bit. Oh, here we go. Oh. I'm going to tuck my feet in here. Stop rocking so much. Come on now. Come on. Whatever, we'll just let it do its thing. Anyways, wrap my feet in it really good. Get this tucked in here real nice. Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna be fine. Hey, it's rocking me like a baby cradle. I like it. Oh, I just rocked myself to sleep here. I still gotta change my socks though. I always make sure I put a good fresh pair of socks on. I've actually got them in here because I want them to warm up. They're cold in my bag out there, so I don't want to put on some freezing socks. So yeah. With the sound of that water running right behind me here, and the sound of the woods and animals, it's gonna be a good night. I think I'll see y'all in the morning.